Hello everybody, it's me again. Welcome back. Crops are one of the biggest parts of Minecraft. Once you have a good farm for these things set up in a world, you can really start thriving. In today's video, we're going to take a look at 5 Bedrock Edition crop farms. Except all these farms work on Java Edition too. These farms are must-haves. Every single one of these farms will benefit your world in big ways. If you enjoyed this one and you'd like to see more like it, leave a like, subscribe for more videos. Notification gang is the best gang ever, and leave a comment. Today, each farm will get a little bit more advanced. The first farm we're taking a look at is the most basic of basic farms. If you played this game for any longer than, I don't know, like a day, we'll give it a day. If you played the game any longer than like a day, you've set one of these things up. This is your day 1 crop farm. These are good things to know about. Just in case you're brand new, here's how it works. We have crops, we have farm. A single source of water will hydrate up to 4 blocks away from it. So that's the water right there. We go 4 out in this direction, and we can plant anywhere inside of there. The water in the middle of this thing guarantees the farmland will actually stay farmland. Without the water, the farmland turns back to dirt. Using the farm is even easier than it is to explain the thing. Take the seed, plant the seeds everywhere all over this farm. This is literally your day 1 farm. This is the most simple thing in the world. Definitely not the best thing in the world at all, but it's a simple crop farm. It gets you started in your world. Set one of these things up, you'll get more crops, and then you can move on to bigger and better things. It's a simple farm, it's a nice farm, but it's also a farm that you should not have for very long in your world. You can put a tiny bit more effort in and improve this thing huge time. Better things, better places, that's where we move to next. So farm number 2 still continues the trend of insanely simple. Aesthetically, this farm is improved, but still very visually similar to the last one. But this farm is going to work way better. So with this one, we're making a couple changes. First off, we have the staircase in here in the water. The staircase could be swapped out for a trapdoor, a slab, really anything. No matter what though, if you put something in here that can be waterlogged, you will never actually be able to fall into the water, which is good. You don't fall into water, you don't have to jump out. You jump out of water, you can ruin the crops. So put something in the water. The other change is the lighting. Lighting is important for crops to grow. In Minecraft, there are 3 growing conditions for crops: light, being loaded in, and actually being on farmland. So water makes sure the farmland stays, so that's good. Being loaded in, that happens when you're near the farm. And then light. If the light level is not at least 9, then your crop actually won't progress to the next stage. Putting torches around your farm, or lanterns, or any other light source block is going to guarantee a light level of at least 9 during the day and during the nighttime. Materials to set this farm up are insanely simple. It's kind of up to you. You could substitute the staircase for a slab or a trapdoor, like I said. You could decorate your lighting with like fences, put the torches on fences. It's up to you. The other thing that you're going to want to have for this farm is 2 different crops. If you plant your crops in alternating rows, the crops will actually grow a lot faster. So we do a row of carrots right there, then we would do a row of potatoes, and you would continue this row through the whole farm. You can make the farm bigger, of course, with more water sources. Carrot, potato, then we go carrot again, then we go potato, then we go carrot, and you get the point. Alternating your crops will actually make them grow significantly faster, which is great early game. If you're trying to stock up on a lot of crops, alternate the rows. Or if you can't alternate them, then just space your rows out. I mean, it's simple. It's still really not much, but this farm right here with the small improvements that we've made to it is going to run way better than that farm right over there. That's the lazy farm. This is the good version of it. If you have the extra time, the extra materials, and the extra crop, alternate them, set them up just like this, and the thing is going to run so much better. And actually, what I was saying about the crops growing faster, look at this right here. We have these ones growing up already. Over here, we have stuff growing up. Alternating rows definitely helps out huge time. But we can help it even more. Bees. Bees are like basically amazing. They're really nice, and actually, I think their animation is like better on Bedrock. I usually play Java, but anyways, bees. Bees can actually help our farm speed up a little bit more. So for this farm, we've basically taken this one and improved it even more. This time, we have lanterns instead of torches. I think they look a little bit better. We have a campfire in the middle, which is going to do 2 things. It's going to give us light, and it's going to keep the bees calm inside of that hive right there. And we have the alternating rows still, and then flowers. Materials to actually set this farm up are still insanely easy to get. This thing doesn't require much effort at all. This is what I've used to set up the farm basically. I've used 2 flower types to make it look a little bit nicer. The slab is where the water is. Shears. So the shears are for actually harvesting this farm. This farm, instead of just getting you 2 things here, is going to get you 3 things. You'll get honeycombs, then you'll get wheat, and you'll get beetroot as well. I still highly recommend alternating your crop rows. Alternating your crop rows will, of course, speed up the growth like we just talked about, but bees will actually speed up the growth of your crops as well. So when a bee leaves its beehive, it won't be pollinated. It'll go over and find a flower. That's why we have flowers all around this farm. Then when the bee flies back, it'll be pollinated. If those particles from the pollination fall onto a crop, the crop's growth will actually be spread up. It's actually pretty cool. We can take that exact mechanic, pair it with all of the other crop growing mechanics to make a crop farm that is actually pretty efficient. But check this out. We have the bees over here. They're doing their things over the flowers. They kind of just fly around there for a little bit. Eventually, the bee is going to decide that it's done and fly back. Over here, we have crops we're waiting to grow. Flies over, and you see that right there. It actually sped up the growth of that crop right there. Now, it's not much, but it's definitely something, so it can help. Same thing is going to happen. It's going to fly over, pollinate those crops right there, and there we go. Give it a little bit of time, and we'll get honeycombs in the middle as well. Now, if you're setting this thing up on Java Edition, I highly recommend setting up like a room around this thing. If you have this thing sitting out in the open, from my experience, the bees on Java are way less reliable. They just fly around and leave. I've had 3 bees in this thing for like a long time while I was setting everything up here. I set this thing up first, and they're still here. They haven't left. So on Bedrock, no need for a room around it. On Java, maybe put a room. Also consider maybe expanding this and having even more of these things. You could even, if you wanted to, automate this thing with an observer, a dispenser, and some shears, a little bit of redstone. Super simple to do. Then you have an automatic honeycomb farm, and then you have the crop farm. You harvest the crops manually. This thing gets harvested automatically. Kind of cool. Right here, this crop farm is the first crop farm that we've looked at today that I would say you could stop at. Like, you could stop improving your farm at this point and just leave it at this forever, and you would be good. Definitely improve from the first one to this one, and then I recommend improving that one up to this one eventually once you have the supplies. After all, the supplies are pretty easy to get, and even though the bees don't speed the farm up that much, they speed it up, and they get honeycombs. Like, you wouldn't have gotten honeycombs with the last one. There were no bees. The fourth farm that we're going to take a look at today might be the best one out of all of them. This farm is fully automatic. If you like farms where you don't have to do anything, this is the farm for you. Set this thing up in the right spot in your world, have it actually loaded in, and it's just going to run. You don't have to do anything at all. The villagers will harvest the crops for you. They'll try and share them with each other like that right there. The hoppers steal the crops, put them inside of a chest. So check this out. This farm has been running for a while. Carrots. There's so many carrots just sitting inside of this chest, waiting, ready to go. If I were to set this up around my base, where I'm like doing other things, working on other builds, you know, it's just gonna run. Eventually, you're gonna have so many crops. Late game, this is a really good idea. If you set up a carrot farm like this one right here, and then you have a gold farm, free golden carrots. You set up a potato farm, maybe this is more like mid-game, but potato farm, free potatoes, bake the potatoes, boom, there you go, pretty good food. The farm is really nice, and it's actually pretty simple to set up too, so long as you do things like just right on Bedrock Edition. On Java, to be honest, it's going to be a little bit easier. No matter what, materials for the farm are going to look something like this right here. Water, of course, for the crops, a hoe, a little bit of hoppers, a chest for storage, a workstation, and then a composter workstation, very important, building blocks, light sources, 1 bed, and then crops. Now, when it comes to what you're planting inside of an automatic villager farm, something like this right here, 1 crop. If you use more than 1 crop, it can actually clog your villager's inventory up, slow the thing down, potentially even completely break the thing. Now, on Bedrock Edition, there are bugs. There's a lot of bugs. There's a particularly nasty bug with villagers actually being just removed, like completely gone if they're not properly chunk aligned. So make sure you chunk align your villagers, everything like that if you're going to set this thing up. Now, I'm not going to do an exact tutorial on this model of the farm that I've set up right here, but I'll break it down for you really quickly. We have hoppers right in there. They go over to this chest, and the hoppers just string up to that one right there. Then I have a perimeter set up. Underneath all of the light sources, I have water. I have a farmer villager inside of here. I have a random villager over here that I've locked its profession. So I traded with it 1 time, so it's always a cartographer. Technically, because the profession is locked, I could remove the workstation. I don't know. I just left it there. We have 1 bed right here to establish the village, and then we have the farmer villager inside of here. Now, it's a farmer because same thing. I put a composter down, traded with the villager, so it stays a farmer. Then I just removed the composter because I didn't really need it. The farmer villager has been, and will continue to forever, run around inside of this thing, harvest carrots, plant carrots. Let's say farmer villager in here has an excess of carrots. It's been working hard all day long on the grind. Has a lot of carrots. Eventually, it's going to go over here and try and share with this villager. Hoppers over here, they're in the way. They actually steal all the profits from me. It's my food. Very important here, we have walls around the outside of this thing to keep the villagers focused and doing their things. And then also very important, if you were building this outside, put a roof on it so lightning doesn't strike your villager. Turn it into a witch and then it's done. Also, make sure light is good inside of this thing so the crops can actually grow at all times of the day. I'm pretty sure the light, how I've spaced it, should be good inside of this thing. But anyways, back over here, the villager definitely threw some more carrots. Check that out. Carrot profit inside of this chest, or it could be bread, or it could be beetroot, or it could be potatoes. It's your choice. You could also expand this thing, like layer it up and down, or just make it a little bit bigger and have more villagers, more farmers, everything like that. I will probably be building one of these things in my survival world very, very soon. But also Silent Whisperer. If you play on Bedrock Edition and you want a good tutorial for something like this, highly recommend Silent Whisperer's tutorial. Card on screen right now. Definitely check that out after this video. These things, when built right, they're amazing. It's literally free crops. And oh yeah, eventually you'll have so many crops that you could just take them and sell them back to the villager. It's great. And finally, last but not least for today, farm number 5. By far, farm number 5 is the smallest farm that we're going to set up. But also, by far, farm number 5 has the best rates of every single farm that we're going to set up. So farm number 5 involves a little bit of redstone here. The materials that we need for this farm are right here inside of this chest, approximately. You can actually cut things out. You do need 2 pieces of redstone here, and you're going to need a lot of bone meal. So the farm right here, it's a micro farm. This is set up, 2 pieces of redstone dust on top of there. If we harvest this thing, grab the seeds, plant them right there, and just repeat this over and over and over again, we're going to burn through a lot of bone meal. But check this out. Look at how quick this is. Because of the observer dispenser combo right here, if I keep things moving perfectly in rhythm, we're just going to keep getting wheat all day long. Like wheat over and over and over again. And this works with the other ones too. You can do potatoes, you can do carrots, you can do beetroot. The one big thing here is bone meal. If you run out of bone meal, the farm, it stops working. So just to show you how easy these things are to set up, check this out. We start with a stair right there. We do trapdoors right there. That's going to keep the water in on the sides. Water inside of there. Farmland right there. Then we're going to go over here and grab a dispenser, this block, the observer right there, and then redstone dust. We're going to come back over here, place a dispenser facing forwards at the farmland, so just like that. Then we'll go ahead and place a temporary thing right there. Observer looking down. We'll remove that. We get the farmland back right there. Then we're going to put a building block right over here on top of the dispenser. Redstone dust. Redstone dust, bone meal would go inside of the dispenser, crop on the farmland, stand in front of it, profit. So let's put a little bit of dispenser inside of the bone meal, maybe like 3 stacks or so. Put that right there. This is going to start running. And then we just do this over and over and over again. Highly recommend keeping 1 item of whatever you're planting in your main hand slot to speed it up a little bit. And really just repeat the process. Eventually you'll have so much crops, way more than you would ever need. Or, if you're early game still, but you were able to find all of this stuff, maybe you found a skeleton spawner, set up a farm, this could actually fuel your food for a little while until you can build something a little bit better, a little bit bigger. Maybe eventually from this thing, you can move up to a cow farm, a hoglin farm, really whatever you'd like to do for food. But this farm is insanely easy to set up, and if you have a lot of extra bone meal, it's a great use of it. Also, keep in mind, with a farm like this and with the automated farm, you would use these things to get a lot of crops relatively quickly. Then you could take their crops and, of course, trade them back to the villager, turn them into emeralds, use the emeralds for something else, maybe buying diamond armor. I have no clue, but you could use the emeralds for something else, which is great. But with that, we've done it. 5 Bedrock Edition crop farms that also happen to work perfectly on Java as well, and sometimes they're a little bit easier to set up on Java too. What do you think? Would you like an individual step-by-step tutorial for any of these farms? If you would, not a problem, that's cool. Request it down in the comments below. Remember to leave a like on this video, it really helps out, and it will guarantee you, potentially, to have 7,000 years of good luck, which is pretty great. Subscribe for more videos just like this all the time. My links are in the description. Check them out. Happy 2022, everybody. Thanks for watching. This has been me, your boy. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.